You know that smell. The one that hits you when you walk into your grandmother's house. That mixture of old wood, lingering cigarette smoke, and something cooking on the stove that's been simmering since morning? That's where we're going today. Back to a time when houses smelled different, sounded different, felt different under your feet. Come with me. Let me show you what it was really like inside an American home in the 1940s. Close your eyes for a second. Picture this with me. It's 1940. Maybe early evening, around 6 o'clock. The sun's starting to sink low, casting long shadows across the front yard. You're walking up to a house. Doesn't matter if it's in Brooklyn or Des Moines or a small town outside Atlanta. The specifics are different, sure, but the feeling is the same. The screen door needs oiling. It always needs oiling. That creak is the sound of coming home, and you'd recognize it in your sleep. Through that screen, you can already hear the radio playing. Some program your mother listens to while she's getting supper ready. The voices drift out into the humid evening air, mixing with the sounds of the neighborhood. Kids playing down the street, somebody's dog barking, Mr. Henderson next door working on his victory garden. This is the 1940, and I want to take you inside. Not the Hollywood version, not the cleaned-up nostalgic version you see in movies. The real version. The one with scuff marks on the linoleum and a crack in the plaster wall that your father keeps saying he'll fix. Because here's the thing, we talk about the 1940s like it was another world. And in some ways, it was. But in other ways, it was just home. Real people living real lives in real houses that creaked and leaked and needed constant care. So let's walk through that front door together. Let me show you around. Before we even get inside, let's stop here on the porch for a minute. The front porch in the 1940s wasn't just a place, it was practically a room unto itself. Especially in the summer, when the house got so hot you could barely breathe inside. No air conditioning, remember. Not in most homes. Not yet. So the porch is where life happened. Can you see it? There's probably a swing, hanging from chains that squeaks slightly when it moves. The paint on it is chipping a little. Maybe it was white once, now it's more of a yellowish cream color. Your mother keeps meaning to repaint it, but who has time? Between the ration books and the shopping and trying to make meat stretch for 3 meals, there's always something more pressing. There are chairs out here too. Not matching. Nothing really matches in 1940s homes the way it does now. Maybe a wicker chair that your parents got as a wedding present back in '38. Maybe a wooden rocker that your grandfather made. Maybe just a couple of metal folding chairs that get dragged out when company comes. And people do come. That's the thing about porches in this era, they're social spaces. Mrs. Peterson from 2 houses down might stop by after dinner, just to sit and talk for a while. The Kowalski boys might run up with a question about whether they can play ball in your yard. Your aunt might pull up in her Chevrolet and honk twice, the signal that she's here and doesn't want to be formal about knocking. The porch is where your father sits after work, reading the newspaper. And I mean really reading it. Every word, every column. Because it's 1943, and the war is everywhere. It's in Europe, it's in the Pacific, and it's in your newspaper every single day. Names of local boys who enlisted. Updates from the front. War bond advertisements. Ration information. Your father sits there in his work clothes. He hasn't changed yet because dinner isn't quite ready. His shirt sleeves are rolled up. There might be a glass of lemonade sweating on the little table beside him. And he's reading, but his mind is somewhere else. Maybe thinking about his younger brother who's stationed in England. Maybe doing mental calculations about whether the paycheck will stretch far enough this month. Do you remember what newspapers felt like back then? The paper was thinner because of wartime shortages. Sometimes the print would come off on your fingers. The ink had a particular smell, sharp and chemical and somehow comforting. On the porch railing, there might be a few plants. Your mother tries to keep geraniums alive in old coffee cans. The cans still have their labels. Maxwell House, Hills Brothers. You save everything in the 1940s. Everything gets reused. Those coffee cans might be planters today, storage containers tomorrow, projects for cutting out shapes for your little sister's school project next week. There's probably a milk box by the front door. The milkman comes early, so early you never actually see him, but you hear the bottles clinking when he makes his delivery. By 1943, a lot of families are having trouble getting milk as regularly as they used to. Sometimes you open that box and there's only one bottle when you were expecting two. But you make do. That's the phrase everyone uses in the 1940, we make do. And right there, beside the door, there's probably a small flag hanging in the window. A service flag. If you're lucky, it's got blue stars on it, one star for each family member serving in the military. Blue means they're alive, somewhere, fighting. Some windows have gold stars. Gold means they're not coming home. You try not to look at the houses with gold stars. It hurts too much. Let's go inside now. The front door is probably unlocked. That's just how it is in most neighborhoods in the 1940s. People don't lock their doors the way we do now. Oh sure, you lock up at night before bed, but during the day? When you're home, the door stays unlocked. Neighbors might just walk right in, calling, "Hello," as they come through. When you open that door, the first thing that hits you is the smell. Every house in the 1940s has its own smell, but there are common threads. There's usually something cooking, a pot roast, maybe, or cabbage, or beans simmering on the stove. There's the smell of whatever cleaning product your mother uses, probably something with lye or ammonia. Strong stuff. The kind that makes your eyes water if you get too close. The entryway, if there is a separate entryway, which isn't guaranteed in smaller homes, is small. There might be a little table against the wall with a mirror hanging above it. The mirror's glass is wavy, old, with silvering that's starting to deteriorate at the edges. On the table, a bowl for keys, even though most people don't lock their cars either. Maybe some mail. A hat. Your father's fedora, most likely. Men still wear hats in the 40s. Not wearing a hat in public is actually kind of scandalous. The walls are probably plaster, painted. Wallpaper in some rooms, maybe, especially the kitchen or dining room. Wallpaper with small repeating patterns, flowers, vines, geometric shapes. The patterns are cheerful but busy. They hide dirt and wear. That matters when you can't afford to repaint every few years. Can you hear it? The house has sounds. The radio is playing somewhere. It's almost always playing. The floorboards creak under your feet. The house settles and sighs like a living thing. In the winter, the radiators clank and hiss. In the summer, the windows are open and you hear everything from outside. Cars going by, kids playing, someone mowing their lawn with a push mower that makes that satisfying whirring, clicking sound. Let's keep moving. Let's go into the living room. This is the heart of the house in many ways. Not because it's the biggest room, it's probably not. But because this is where the family gathers. This is where the radio lives. Let me paint you a picture. It's evening now, after dinner. The dishes are done, or at least soaking in the sink, waiting for someone to get to them. The family drifts into the living room almost automatically. It's time for the programs. The radio is the centerpiece of the room. Not the sofa, not the fireplace, the radio. It's probably a floor model, a console that stands about waist high. It's made of wood, with a cloth speaker front and dials that you turn with a satisfying click to change stations. The wood is probably walnut or mahogany, polished to a shine. The radio is one of the most expensive things in the house. It cost maybe $60 or $70 when your parents bought it. That's 2 or 3 weeks' wages for a lot of working men. And it's on almost all the time. In the morning, your mother listens to music and homemaking programs while she cleans. During the day, she might catch a soap opera or two. That's what they're starting to call them because they're sponsored by soap companies. Guiding Light, The Romance of Helen Trent. Stories of drama and romance and trouble, all wrapped up in 15-minute episodes. But in the evening, after dinner, that's when the whole family gathers. Because that's when the good programs come on. Your father sits in his chair, and yes, it's his chair, the same way it's his spot at the dinner table. Probably an upholstered armchair, a little worn. Maybe it's got an antimacassar on the back. You know what that is? A little cloth draped over the back of the chair to protect the upholstery from the pomade in his hair. That's what men use in the 40s to keep their hair in place. Greasy stuff that smells like flowers or spice and leaves marks on fabric. Your mother sits on the sofa, probably doing something with her hands while she listens. Darning socks, maybe. Mending a shirt. Knitting. Women in the 1940s are rarely just sitting. There's always handwork to do, and doing it in front of the radio makes it feel less like work. The kids might be sprawled on the floor, on their stomachs, faces propped on their hands, listening to adventure programs. They can see the whole story in their minds: cowboys and Indians, space adventures, detective mysteries. Radio makes you use your imagination in a way television won't. There are tables scattered around. End tables beside the sofa, a coffee table in the middle of the room. They're probably dark wood, maybe with some decorative carving. On the tables, lamps with heavy bases and fabric shades, an ashtray or two, always ashtrays, maybe a copy of the Saturday Evening Post or Life magazine, a candy dish with hard candies that have been there so long they've stuck together, family photos in frames. The photos are black and white, of course. Your wedding picture if you're married. Your parents on their wedding day. The kids' school photos. And probably, in 1943, a photo of whoever's gone to war. Your brother, maybe, or your son, or your husband if you're a young woman whose husband got drafted. The photo shows him in his uniform, looking so young, so serious. You try not to look at it too much because it makes your chest hurt. This room tells you a lot about the family that lives here. How are the furniture and decorations? Neat and carefully arranged, or a little chaotic with kids' toys scattered around? Are the magazines neatly stacked or dog-eared and spread out? Is there a war bond poster on the wall encouraging everyone to buy bonds, or a chart tracking the family's savings? You can almost feel it, can't you? The weight of the moment. It's a Tuesday evening in 1943. The radio is on. The war feels very far away and very close all at the same time. Your brother's in Europe somewhere. You're not sure exactly where because his letters are censored. Your mother writes to him every week, long letters full of news about the neighborhood and the weather and what everyone's doing. She doesn't tell him how much she worries. The living room is where you feel safe, even when the world outside doesn't feel safe at all. Should we move on? Let's go into the kitchen. Now we're getting to the real heart of the home. The kitchen in the 1940s is where life happens. It's not the showpiece it will become in later decades. It's not designed to impress guests. It's designed to work, to be functional, to feed a family on a budget that's stretched thin, especially during the war years. First thing you notice when you walk in, it's smaller than you expect. Kitchen design in the 40s is still figuring itself out. The modern concept of the kitchen as a social space, a place where people gather and hang out, that's not really a thing yet. The kitchen is a workplace. It's where your mother spends hours every day preparing meals, washing dishes, putting up preserves, doing the endless work of feeding a family. The floor is almost certainly linoleum. Probably a checkered pattern, or maybe a pattern that looks like tiles. Black and white is popular, or red and white, or yellow and white. It's practical. Easy to clean. You just mop it down with hot water and soap, and it shines right up. The linoleum might be starting to crack or curl a little at the edges, especially near the sink where water splashes, but it's still serviceable. The walls might be painted a cheerful color. Yellow is popular in kitchens, or green, or cream. Or they might be papered with a busy pattern that hides spatters and splashes. Little flowers or fruit motifs or geometric designs. There might be a border running around the room at chair rail height, a decorative touch that also helps protect the plaster from dings and scrapes. Cooking in the 1940s is all from scratch. There are no frozen dinners. No instant anything, really, except maybe Jell-O and cake mixes if you're lucky, and cake mixes are just starting to become available. You make everything yourself. Bread, pastries, main courses, side dishes, desserts. Everything. And it takes time. So much time. Can you smell it? Dinner cooking. Coffee percolating, that gurgling sound it makes. The faint smell of gas from the stove. Soap from the dishwater. The mustiness from the wet towels hanging to dry. It all blends together into the smell of a 1940s kitchen. The smell of home. Let's move on. Let's look at the bedrooms. Upstairs now, if there is an upstairs. In smaller homes or ranch-style houses, the bedrooms might all be on one floor. But let's say we're going upstairs. The stairs creak. They always creak. Each step has its own particular sound, and you know them all by heart. You can tell who's coming up or down by the pattern of the creaks. At the top of the stairs, there's a small hallway. Narrow, probably, with doors leading off to the bedrooms and bathroom. The walls might be papered or painted. There's probably a overhead light fixture, but it's not very bright. The hallway is dim even in the daytime unless someone's left a bedroom door open. Let's start with the parents' bedroom. The master bedroom, though nobody calls it that yet. It's not a big room. A bedroom in the 40s is for sleeping, for keeping clothes, and that's about it. It's not a retreat or a sanctuary or a place to relax. It's functional. There might be a chair in the corner, a simple wooden chair or a small upholstered one. This is where your father might sit to take off his shoes at the end of the day, where your mother might sit to roll on her stockings in the morning. Temperature is always an issue. In the summer, the bedroom is hot. The window is open, and maybe there's a breeze, maybe there isn't. You might have a fan if you can afford one. In the winter, the bedroom is cold. Really cold. The heat doesn't reach up here very well. You can see your breath sometimes. You sleep under piles of blankets and wake up with the tip of your nose frozen. Privacy is relative. If you have kids, they might burst in at any moment. The door doesn't have a lock, or if it does, you don't use it. This is a family home. Privacy is something you negotiate, not something you're guaranteed. Now that you've seen the house, let me tell you what it's like to actually live here. What does a day look like in an American home in the 1940s? Let's say it's a Wednesday in 1940. A normal day, nothing special. Your mother wakes first, probably around 5:30 or 6 a.m. She doesn't have an alarm clock, or if she does, she doesn't need it. Her body knows when to wake up. She's been doing this for years. She puts on a housecoat over her nightgown and slips her feet into slippers. The floor is cold. Everything is cold in the early morning. The heat hasn't really kicked in yet. She goes downstairs quietly, trying not to wake anyone else. In the kitchen, she starts the coffee percolating. The sound and smell will eventually wake your father. She starts breakfast. Maybe oatmeal, cooked on the stove. Maybe toast and eggs if there are eggs this week. Maybe just bread and butter and jam. While breakfast cooks, she might step outside to check the Victory Garden, see if anything needs watering. Or she might start a load of laundry if it's wash day. Or she might just sit at the kitchen table with her first cup of coffee, stealing 5 minutes of quiet before the chaos starts. By 6:30, your father is up. He washes at the bathroom sink, shaves carefully in front of the mirror, gets dressed in his work clothes. He comes down to breakfast, sits at his spot at the table, reads the paper if it's been delivered yet. The kids start stirring around 7 o'clock. They stumble into the kitchen, still half asleep. Your mother makes sure they wash up, get dressed properly, eat something. She packs lunches for the ones going to school, sandwiches wrapped in waxed paper, maybe an apple, maybe some cookies if she's baked recently. Your father leaves for work around 7:30. He might drive if he has a car and can get gas rations. More likely, he walks or takes the streetcar or the bus. He'll be gone all day, not home until after 5 o'clock. The kids leave for school around 8 o'clock, walking together or meeting up with neighborhood kids. School is close, you can walk. Most kids can. The idea of driving kids to school is almost unheard of. Now your mother is alone, and her day really begins. She clears the breakfast dishes, washes them in the sink. She wipes down the table and the counters. She sweeps the kitchen floor. Then it's on to the rest of the house. She makes the beds, pulling the covers tight and smooth. She dusts the furniture, moving around the knickknacks and photos, wiping down every surface. She sweeps or mops the floors, or gets down on her hands and knees to scrub them if they need it. Maybe today is wash day. If so, she's hauling water, sorting laundry, running load after load through the washer, hanging everything to dry. This takes hours. Maybe today is ironing day. If so, she sets up the ironing board in the kitchen or living room, heats the iron on the stove or plugs in the electric iron if she has one. She irons everything: sheets, pillowcases, shirts, dresses, handkerchiefs. Everything. It takes hours. Maybe today is baking day. If so, she's making bread, mixing the dough, kneading it, letting it rise, punching it down, letting it rise again, shaping it into loaves, baking it. The smell fills the house. She might also make cookies or a cake if she has the sugar ration for it. Around 11:30 or noon, she stops to make herself some lunch. Nothing fancy. Maybe leftovers from last night's dinner. Maybe a sandwich. She eats standing up at the counter or sitting at the kitchen table, listening to the radio. A soap opera or a homemaking program. After lunch, more chores. Maybe she's mending clothes, darning socks, sewing on buttons, patching holes in trousers. Maybe she's planning dinner, checking what she has in the pantry, thinking about what she can make with the ration stamps she has left. If there's time, she might sit for a few minutes with a cup of tea or coffee, reading a magazine or a novel. But there's rarely time. There's always something else to do. Around 3 o'clock or 3:30, the kids start coming home from school. They burst through the door, full of energy and noise. They want a snack. They have homework. They want to go play outside. Your mother manages all of it, checking homework, making sure they don't track mud through the house, getting them settled. Around 4 o'clock or 4:30, she starts making dinner in earnest. Peeling potatoes, chopping vegetables, getting the meat ready. If it's a roast, it's already in the oven, has been for a couple hours. If it's something quicker, she starts now. Your father gets home around 5:30 or 6 o'clock. He washes up, changes out of his work clothes if he has time, sits down at the table. Dinner is ready or almost ready. The family eats together. This is important. You all sit at the table, and you eat the meal your mother has prepared. You talk about your day. Your father tells you what he did at work, in broad strokes. The kids talk about school. Your mother listens, chiming in occasionally. After dinner, the dishes need to be done. Your mother does them, or one of the kids helps if they're old enough. The kitchen gets cleaned up, leftovers put away. Then it's evening. The family drifts into the living room. The radio goes on. Homework gets done at the dining room table. Your mother might darn socks or mend clothes while she listens to the radio. Your father reads the paper or a magazine. If it's summer, people might go outside for a while. Sit on the porch, talk to neighbors, let the kids play in the street until it gets dark. Around 8 o'clock or 8:30, it's time for the kids to start getting ready for bed. Wash up, brush teeth, put on pajamas. Your mother might read them a story if they're young. Your father might come up to say good night. By 9 or 9:30 p.m., the kids are in bed. The house gets quiet. Your parents might listen to the radio a bit longer. Your mother might finish up some handwork. Your father might smoke a last cigarette. By 10 o'clock or 10:30, they're heading to bed themselves. Your father winds the alarm clock. Your mother checks that all the doors are locked. They get ready for bed, climb under the covers, and sleep. And then it starts all over again the next day. This is life in the 1940s. It's routine. It's repetitive. It's a lot of work, especially for your mother. But it's also stable, predictable, comforting in its own way. There are variations, of course. On Sunday, everyone goes to church. The whole family gets dressed in their best clothes, and you walk or drive to services. Afterward, you might have a big Sunday dinner, maybe with extended family coming over. It's the one day of the week that's different. On Saturday, there might be errands. Your mother goes shopping, hitting multiple stores because each one specializes in something different. The butcher for meat, the baker for bread, the grocer for canned goods and staples. She carries her ration books and plans carefully. Your father might have a project on Saturday. Fixing something around the house, working in the victory garden, washing the car. The kids might have chores, mowing the lawn, weeding the garden, helping with laundry or dishes. But mostly, the days blur together in a rhythm of work and rest, of routine and responsibility. Of course, not every day is the same. There are special occasions that break up the routine, that make the year feel like it's moving forward. Birthdays are celebrated, but simply. There might be a cake that your mother baked, candles, a small gift. Maybe a few friends over, but not a big party. Maybe just the family gathered around the table, singing "Happy Birthday" slightly off-key. The gifts are practical. Clothes, mostly. Maybe a toy if you're a kid, but a simple one. A doll or a toy car. Maybe a book. You treasure it because you know you won't get many more presents until Christmas. Holidays are a bigger deal. Let's talk about Christmas. Christmas in the 1940s, especially during the war years, is complicated. There's joy, sure, but there's also sadness. There are empty chairs at the table where brothers or sons or fathers should be sitting. There are worries about whether they're safe, whether they'll make it home. But you celebrate anyway. You have to. It's important for morale, for the kids, for keeping some sense of normalcy. On Christmas Eve, you might go to church. A special service, candles lit, everyone singing Silent Night. It's beautiful and solemn and makes you feel connected to something bigger than yourself. Christmas morning, the kids wake up early, excited. They rush downstairs to see what's under the tree. There are gifts, but not many, and nothing extravagant. Practical things, mostly. Maybe a new dress or a warm sweater. Maybe a toy that your father made in the basement workshop. Maybe a book or a game. There are stockings hung by the fireplace, filled with small things. An orange, a real treat in winter. Some nuts. A peppermint stick. Maybe a small toy or a coin. The joy is real, even if the gifts are simple. Kids don't expect more. This is what Christmas is. Your mother makes a special dinner. Turkey if you can get one. Maybe a ham or a roast. Mashed potatoes, gravy, vegetables, rolls. Pie for dessert, pumpkin or apple, made from scratch. The family gathers around the table. You say grace, thanking God for the food and for each other. You eat slowly, savoring it, because this is special, different from every other meal. After dinner, you sit in the living room, full and content. The radio plays Christmas music. Someone might read the Christmas story from the Bible. The kids play with their new toys. Your mother relaxes, for once, not worrying about the next meal or the next load of laundry. It's a good day. A memory you'll carry with you for the rest of your life. Other holidays are celebrated too, though maybe not as elaborately. Thanksgiving with a big meal. Easter with church and maybe new clothes if you can manage it. 4th of July with fireworks. Life in the 1940s has joy and sorrow all mixed up together. You celebrate what you can. You mourn what you must. You keep going. So there you have it. A tour through an American home in the 1940s. We've walked through every room. We've seen the worn linoleum and the wavy mirrors. We've smelled the coffee percolating and the dinner cooking. We've heard the radio playing and the floorboards creaking. We've met the people who lived there. The mother working herself to exhaustion. The father providing for his family. The kids growing up in a world at war. We've seen the routines that structured their days, the holidays that punctuated their years, the war that shadowed everything. It wasn't an easy time. It wasn't a simple time, not really. People struggled. They worried. They grieved. They made do with less than they wanted, less than they needed sometimes. But they also found joy. In small things. In a perfectly ripe tomato from the victory garden. In a letter from a loved one overseas. In the family gathered around the radio on a Saturday night. In the knowledge that they were doing their part, contributing to something important. The 1940s home was a place of work and worry, but also of love and life. It was where people grew up, grew old, lived their lives. It was ordinary and extraordinary all at once. And now it's gone, mostly. Replaced by modern homes with modern conveniences. But it lives on in memory, in stories, in the lessons it still has to teach us about what matters, what lasts, what makes a house a home. Thank you for taking this journey with me. For stepping back in time and seeing what life was really like inside an American home in the 1940s. I hope you've learned something. I hope you've felt something. I hope you'll carry these images and stories with you, and maybe share them with someone else. Because this is our history. This is where we came from. And understanding it helps us understand ourselves. Take care. And remember, the best homes aren't the fanciest or the biggest or the most modern. The best homes are the ones filled with love and life and the people who matter most. That was true in the 1940s. And it's still true today.